Darlings, it's Mummy, Sybil Brunson, and I'm out here in Cherry Grove giving one of my tourettes. There's Robert Conlon, one of our fire people, and there's our fire station with our wonderful little fire truck I'm going to show you right now. I don't want to interfere with their meeting, but look at our fire. And they just built, this is the substation on the east end, and it happens to be across the street from our house, which is very convenient. I mean, who doesn't want to live next to their police precinct? You know, who wouldn't want to do that, or their fire department? So this is right across the street from us, and here's Robert's vehicle. So they're doing a little talk about the new fire truck that we got. Here's our property, and here's Lois and Dave's place, and it's very sweet. It's Wednesday, August 11th, and the heat index inside New York City, and I guess down in Philadelphia right now, is about 108 because the temperature is like 98 or something. As you can see here, we have a little bit of a breeze, which is lovely. And so the heat index here is 90 something. The humidity is like 98%. I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal. But we're also grateful to be here. We're so grateful even to have our flea bean being stirred a little bit and to have the temperature a little bit lower. Darlings, Mummy always gives you tourettes when I've been working on my garden. I rarely show you it in déshabillé, but today I'm showing you in mid-thing. So first of all, I haven't been here for a month, and this is what happened. You can see that the liatris, or the gay feathers, bloomed. They were purple, and then there were white ones, and then they went by, and they're in seed. My beautiful balloon flowers, purple, beautiful balloon flower, all bloomed and are gone while I was not here. So everything sort of, the lavenders took a beating. Everything took a beating. The yarrows bloomed. Here's the yarrows. They bloomed and are gone. The bachelor buttons bloomed and are gone. All sorts of things bloomed and are gone. The pin cushions are still coming up. I deadheaded them yesterday. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was that at first I was just going to let you see it as a mess. When you're not gardening and you leave your place, it sort of becomes, you know, a hodgepodge of stuff. Oh, there's some Veronica in there. Look at the little purple Veronica. They're tucked in there. I didn't see them. Where's that catmint? I'll have to get closer. I'm not sure, but they're trying. Anyway, the place is a mess. Amazingly, the new Guinea Impatiens, which I sort of dropped in place, the red ones are absolutely blazing away. The white ones need some grooming. And you can see that the coral bells, or heuchera, took a bit of a beating. So anyway, the place is a mess, but I'm trying to groom it, deadhead it, trim it back. All of the liatris leaves are sort of drooping this way and that, and are a little spotty. There might be a little slug problem in there. Anyway, so I'm trying to make it look nice and to catch up and make it look good. The one thing that is a miracle is the scaevola, which is a Hawaiian or Australian flower, tropical, and thank God for Mike Fitzgerald. He came over and he watered them regularly, because you know from my past tourettes how those can be doing terrifically, and then you turn your back, and 1 or 2 days without water, oh dear God, they faint. And although they come back quickly, they won't blossom for like 3 weeks. So the foliage will come back, but they won't blossom. So he rescued them, and of all the things in the garden, they are blazing away, which is always lovely. And of course, that's where the praying mantises in my garden like to hide. They like to find their way in those, and that's always fun. This was my dwarf morning glories, and they were blue and lovely. They're alive, and that's something to be grateful for. Although, they didn't burn away while I was gone. Obviously, Michael watered them enough, but they must have gotten a shock at some point, because they're not blossoming at all. I don't know what's going on there, but that's as it is. Anyway, that's evolvulus, by the way, for those of you that like Latin and scientific terms. The dwarf morning glories, though they don't look at all like morning glories, they are evolvulus, and they are still alive. And then my hens and chicks, you saw that I repotted them. Some of them are doing beautifully. They're almost cinematic. And then others are, well, let me get this right here and turn it. Some of them are literally, I potted them and they're crawling out of the pot. So that particular installation will be taken out and put over in this pot. But you could see that they're thriving. The thing about hens and chicks is that they almost, let me turn this around, they almost love neglect. in a way. They like it until they don't like it. But you could see that I planted these in here, and they seem to be doing well. What you need to get is a chopstick or a knitting needle, a big one, a thick gauge one, and stick it in the soil, and then take the little seedling, the little babies, and drop them in with their root, their cute little extension roots. Drop them in the soil without breaking them off at the root or whatever, and they can come back. Give them a quick spritz of water. It's almost impossible to overwater them in these pots. They're so open and so, unglazed that they sort of dry out. And of course, hens and chicks survive almost everything. I mean, they're like they're incredible. Anyway, so I'm going to be deadheading. My next project is to deadhead all of these balloon flowers. I don't need them to go to seed. I don't want them to exhaust themselves. So I'm going to deadhead them. And this, of course, Michael Tour-ette, the wonderful gardener out here for years before he passed away untimely young death 10 years ago, 11 years ago. These balloon flowers I got from him. I got them from him 15 years ago, and they have gotten bigger and bushier. I might even divide them this fall. And there's my beautiful Japanese painted fern that I love so much that is still here. And there, except with some weeds in it, and there are my 2 pots of my interloper, the wonderful bladder campion that came into my garden years ago and is still here, and I simply adore it. My bladder campion came in as a little tiny sprig of something that was pretty in another flower, and I decided to let it grow. It grew over the summer, and of course over the last 10 years I've been nurturing it, and it is this wonderful little flower that grows, and it's a ground cover, and it's pretty, and it's just, I love it. I've nurtured it all these years. The lavender, I don't know. My lavender is suffering here and back in Philadelphia. I don't know what to think. It's very sad. And I love lavender, and I love my lavender plants, but whatever. Okay, I will talk to you later. Oh, there's some Veronica. Look, that pink flower is Veronica, and those are seeds that must have come from a pot over on the other side. So that's kind of cool. Gardens are so funny that way, aren't they? So anyway, it's 1,000 degrees out here. There's barely a breeze. It's steamy and hot, but it's pretty. And there's so much to be grateful for. And that's what I always say. Be in the world and of the world. Remember to look around and see things. Genuinely see things. Everything you see and smell and touch and taste and hear and hold in your hand and your heart, it's all borrowed. Be present, be mindful, be grateful. Everything is only borrowed. Have a wonderful afternoon.